active transport. In the last you have seen about tonicity, different types of solutions, plasmolysis, flaccidity, etc. Now we'll see about active transport. Active transport is a type of transportation of molecules that is against the concentration gradient. Against the concentration gradient means it moves from lower concentration to higher. Up till now, whatever we have seen, starting from diffusion only, all the kind of the movements are from higher concentration to lower. But active is the only transport which is from lower concentration to higher. Thus, it also needs energy because it is moving in the opposite direction. I'll give you an example. If the flow of the water is from right to left and you are also swimming from right to left, it will be easier for you to move because you are being flowing along with the water. But if you start swimming from left to right, it will be somewhat difficult for you. You will need extra efforts to bifurcate the water and move ahead, right? Same is with the active transport. As the concentration it is moving from lower to higher, it needs energy, and that energy is being provided in the form of ATP. See, active transport is the passage of a substance from its lower concentration to higher through a living membrane, energy from the cell. It is a direction opposite to that of the diffusion. Next, certain nutrients like ions of nitrates, sulfates, potassium, etc. Cannot pass through the membrane. This is because the concentration is higher inside the roots and in the soil it is being less. In this way, the concentration gradient of these ions is opposite to that of diffusion. They are being forcibly carried inward from the region of the lower to higher and requires energy supplied by the cell in the form of ATP. Clear? Passive is same. It is same as your diffusion. Over here, it moves from higher to lower. Nothing different from diffusion. Refers to no input of energy. There is free movement of molecules from their high concentration to lower concentration. It is same. Next is turgidity and flaccidity. Okay. Now turgidity, flaccidity, they are totally opposite. Turgidity, full of water. Flaccidity, no water content. Clear? It is the end cell. See, turgidity, every living cell directly or indirectly is in contact with the fluids. All such cells are subjected to osmosis and water continuation, where the concentration of the surrounding fluids are being checked up. When a cell reaches a state where it cannot accommodate any more water, that is fully distended, it is called as turgid. That is turgidity. While the molecules which are present inside that cell, it creates pressure on the wall of the membrane, and together that pressure is called as turgor pressure. When a cell is turgid, its wall is stretched under pressure from inside, and in its turn it presses the cell contents towards the center. वो बाहर से अंदर की तरफ प्रेशर दे रहे हैं, अंदर से बाहर की तरफ भी प्रेशर जा रहा है. The pressure of the cell contents of the cell wall is also called as turgor pressure, and the pressure exerted by the cell wall on the cell content is called as wall pressure. In the sense, सेल जो प्रेशर दे रही है कंटेंट्स पे, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज वॉल प्रेशर, और जो मॉलिक्यूल्स दे रहे हैं प्रेशर वॉल के ऊपर, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज टर्गर प्रेशर. क्यों? क्योंकि वो टर्जिडिटी की वजह से प्रेशर आ रहा है. क्लियर? नेक्स्ट, अगर प्रेशर ज़्यादा हो जा रहा है, पानी बहुत ज़्यादा है, इट रप्चर्स एंड बर्स्ट आउट. When a turgid in somewhat balanced state, no more water is entering or leaving. Its turgor pressure counterbalances the pressure, and thus there is no movement. Similar as isotonic. Clear? See, over here in the figure they have shown wall भी pressure create कर रहे हैं molecules पे, while molecules also creates pressure on the wall, which is called as turgor. This is called as wall pressure. Next is plasmolysis and flaccidity. Now plasmolysis and flaccidity is almost again same. Over here they have just explained. See, cell, you can see a cell is being shown when it is placed in water. See, over here the cell, when it is placed inside the water, the contents are present. See, plasmolyzed cell, this is turgid cell. When this kind of cell is being placed in a salt solution, slowly the contents of the cytoplasm starts shrinkaging, because the water is moved out and the concentration of the contents is being gathered towards the center. Okay, now this process is called as plasmolysis, where the shrinkage of the cytoplasm takes place, and at the end the cell condition is called as flaccid. Clear? Just a minor difference between plasmolysis and flaccid. Turgid, that is full of water, when they have been placed in high concentration, slowly the cytoplasm starts shrinkaging, and that shrinkage condition of the cell is called as flaccid, and the process is called as plasmolysis. Breaking the word lysis, that is breakdown, plasmo, that is plasma membrane. So breakdown of your plasma membrane, shrinkaging, is plasmolysis. Clear? You will read this. And if such kind of cell is again placed inside the water, deplasmolysis takes place. That means water is again recovered and the same condition is being recovered. Thus it is called as deplasmolysis. Okay. So I think the terms might be clear to you. Turgid, full of water; plasmolysis, just contraction of cytoplasm; and flaccidity, when the shrunken cell is being there. It is tight, there is no more capacity to shrink more. Clear? Further, we'll just have a rough idea about differences between diffusion, osmosis and active. All three of have small differences. Diffusion, same, higher to lower, without any you can say conditions, while in osmosis it is also from higher to lower water concentration, solvent, but solute moves from lower to higher. Okay, if you remember, in osmosis the movement of water is being taken from beaker to the funnel, right? And if you see the concentration inside the funnel, you have sugar, while outside the beaker you don't have anything. So your concentration is being lower in beaker, higher in funnel. But if you see the solvent concentration, that is higher in beaker and lower in this. So your solvent is moving from higher to lower, but concentration, if we see, that is from low to high. Don't get confused. Okay, and this takes place with the help of a semi-permeable membrane. Active, as we have seen right now, it is from lower to higher with the help of energy, totally against the concentration gradient. In diffusion, gases and liquids can diffuse very easily because they have a lot of space. Over here, water transported for a short distance only. Here, energy is being required. In diffusion, molecules of the solute and solvent both can pass. Over here, only solvent can pass. Over here, only ions can pass. Then rapid in gases but slow in solutions. As in, you all know that solid, liquid and gases have more space. Thus, diffusion is rapid in this. As it takes place in solutions, it is somewhat slow. This is again rapid because it needs energy and it carries out fast. Transport from higher to lower. This is from water lower to higher. Again, based on concentration of solute. Over here, against the concentration gradient. And the last one occurs with or without non-living permeable membrane. Over here, semi-permeable membrane. Over here, selective membrane, because ion movements are being carried out. So this is all about active, turgid and flaccidity or plasmolysis conditions. Clear?